What up? I'm going to do this investing little 5 or 10 minute video for you guys. We've got a lot of novices, and I've been doing this since I was 7, so I've got a beat on some of it. I'm just going to lay it out there and let you guys decide what you want to do with your money. But let's go, baby.
Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. You're full of dream, can't you see you getting closer? Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding open. It's a picture in the pulpit and your blind devotion. There's something breaking at the brick of every wall, it's holding all its strong. So tell me, do you want to go? Where it's carrying on down the line, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. We light it up, we won't come down. And the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true.
Doing what you do, baby. Let's go. What up? Hope everybody's doing good. We're just going to do a quick video for you guys. A lot of people have asked us about like the investing part of cards, and before, you know, a lot of card shops will only talk about collectors or collecting, and I mean, that's just not the world we live in, man. People are doing this for either to gamble and have a good time, invest, see what happens, or to collect. So I feel like with you guys, anyway, I feel like several people have asked me to do this, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to give you my best advice and do whatever you want. It may not be what's best for the store, because my advice is going to be what's best for you in this situation. But I'm going to go ahead and give you what I've seen over the years and what I'm seeing now, and we'll just go from there. But first of all, I've never seen anything like this, what's going on right now, probably except when I was a little kid, and I wouldn't know what the deal is. You know, back then they made millions and millions of cards, but I mean, there's been nothing like it, man. I've been doing this a long time, and it's just rolling, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. So I think there's still an opportunity. Particularly, I think sometimes people, they don't know, you know, obviously you collect what you like if you want, but there's people out there that are tired of getting 1.8% on their money market account, or 0.25 out of your checking or whatever. And I think I can at least guide you and give you some idea what I think would pay off in the long run, and just go from there. First thing I would do is the couple of players that I think are overrated, I think their prices are inflated, are Harper, Bryant, and Judge. I think those three guys are, if you've got those rookie autos, I would sell them. I mean, really the only exception there to me is, you know, really there isn't one. I don't like any of those guys. I think what you need to do is you need to find the Trout, obviously, before Trout pops up. Trout was, the way I remember it was, he was a good prospect. That's the way I remember it. But what you got to do is, it's a crazy world we live in. I've been fighting the Bowman Chrome thing for so long, but Bowman Chrome is where it's at. Bowman Chrome is essentially, and Bowman is like the stock market in sports cards. All the guys in their 20s and 30s are buying massive amounts of Bowman Chrome color, which is, you know, the orange, the red, etc. And they're seeing huge, massive, I mean, we're talking a Vlad Guerrero orange I sold for $800 at Christmas 2016. It's like a $15,000 card now. The guy's never even played in the majors that I'm aware of. I mean, he's going to be a monster, but what I'm saying is you can take advantage of that, and there's times to do it. When Bowman Chrome comes out, I mean, it's just broke all over the country, and there's an influx of all that on eBay. And if you'll go and do a little research on a couple players, and you gotta, whatever color you can afford, just buy that color. Don't buy 50 bases or whatever, because it's harder, in my opinion, it's harder to move them. I think if you have the red of Fernando Tatis Jr., you're setting pretty. To give you an example, the Trout Superfractor sold for $400,000. I mean, that card back in, you know, his rookie year would have been, I don't even know if it had been 10. I doubt it. Strasburg was 20, and he was hyped up. But Some of the Bowman Chrome, I mean, there's one name, Tatis Jr. I don't know how crazy his are, but I feel like he's one that could really, really, really blow up. The other thing I think Vlad Guerrero, I know his stuff is out of this world, but shit, man, we thought Trout shit was out of this world a couple years ago. We thought Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls autographs were out of this world a couple years ago. I think like in sports cards, just like anything else, man, stay away from the mid-tier stuff. Nobody cares if you have a Chris Bryant Topps Tier 1 autograph. Nobody cares. They're everywhere. You want to get blue chip players with the best color that you can get as far as the Bowman Chrome goes. That's my opinion on that. I think another way to do it is invest in hobby boxes, put them away. The problem is the like storage, because it takes some space. I think if you get hooked up early on certain years, what you want to do is like last year was a terrible year to buy Bowman Chrome and hold it, I guess. You might double your money if you're lucky. Well, like there's going to be certain years where they think it's weak. Like for an example, in 2016 at Christmas, I was selling Bowman Chrome for $49 a box. That was near cost back then. That's $600 a case. That same case right now on eBay is $6,900. 10 times your money if you'd have walked into my store and bought a case. So, I mean, that's a perfect example. But what I'm saying is like your guy doesn't have to make it to the majors and be a big timer in Bowman Chrome. There's gonna be somebody in every single year that gets hot in AA or AAA and their cards explode, and then the price of Bowman Chrome goes through the roof. So I feel like Bowman Chrome cases on years where it's not got Ohtani in it, where it doesn't have Judge and Bellinger, which, I mean, some of us didn't think Judge and Bellinger were going to be that crazy anyway. But like last year with Ohtani, speaking of Ohtani, anything that's China-driven, like the NBA, scoop, like you want to get the best of the best. Like if a local guy hits a Kobe logo man or any superstar logo man around you and you can get it at a local show, buy it. There's somebody off in China that'll pay crazy money for it. That's a good investment if you can find the local guy that just wants the cash. I think I don't know if I said this or not, but stay away from one-of-ones. These companies have ruined that. They make one-of-ones non-stop, different parallels of the same card, one of one. I think that's going to be overrated here in the next couple years. I think just from my experience, man, 10, 15 years ago, a one-on-one was rare and it was bringing big money. Now a one-of-one of J.J. Watt, it's like $250. I mean, it's like it's just come crashing down. So I mean, I would beat it with those cards. I would move them for things like Derek Jeter SPs. See, there's Hambone right there. Sold 4 logo man to Hong Kong. I mean, it is what it is, man. They may not want to fuck with us, but they got that cash money, homie. I think China, anything NBA, even if you don't collect a lot of it, but you got to get the best of the best. They don't give a shit if you got a Tony Parker patch auto. They want Kobe. They want Curry. They want, when Zion Williamson comes out, that is the one. That guy's the one, I think. I think his prices will be crazy, but man, you gotta spend money to make money, man. This isn't Puss in Boots that I'm telling you. I'm just telling you my opinion, and I think Zion will be the one. Donovan Mitchell and all these other guys, Tatum. I wouldn't pay $10,000 for a Tatum National Treasures in a fucking million years. The other things are, I think Jeter SPs for the next year or so. He's going into the Hall next year. I think that card in a BGS 9, PSA 9, if you can stomach it, is money in the bank. Whether you sell it during the Hall of Fame run or not, Jeter is iconic. I think his card is so undervalued. I just do. I think it's a joke. When you compare how hard it is to get a good grade one, get one with a solid grade, and who it is and who he played for. I think that's one of the best investments. The other thing, too, I think is 86-87 Fleer singles. I think 1986-87 Fleer is going to be the iconic set, in the next 50, 60, 70 years. I think high-grade 86, 87 Fleer. The only problem with that is the Chinese don't really like fucking with that as much. They like the logo man, laundry tags. Like, you got to get the sick stuff. But what I'm saying is stop buying, 10 boxes of Dominion and go buy you a logo man of whoever. You can gamble. Like, hell, you may think a Chris Paul's worth $500 and you put it on eBay and some dude from overseas pays like $2,500. I mean, you can hit licks, man. I wouldn't buy National Treasures basketball. I'd sit on this show and I'd wait till a dude hits one, and he will hit one, and then I would inbox him and I would try to buy it. That's what I would do. NT football is a little different. I think NT football, Mayfield and Saquon, I like that. But this year, I mean, National Treasures is over $1,000 a box. So people who hit them are going to be wanting to sell them. I think those are really good. They're beautiful cards. They're my favorite card, logo man. I mean, I don't even have one that I would sell. I have a Kobe and a Dominique, and I don't want to sell them. So I'm not trying to sell you my cards. I'm just trying to give you some actual valuable information. I think 1980s rookies in high grade, particularly 10, Gem Mint 10, PSA Gem Mint 10, I think what's happening is in the last year or two, all these kids that grew up in the late 80s collecting cards with their dads or on their own with their friends, they're having kids now and they have disposable income. So they're coming back into the market, and they, some of us couldn't afford Canseco rated rookies and Hendersons and things like that. So you want the best of the best, 8s and 9s. I collect 9s because they're affordable. If you're talking about investing, pick players that were iconic and get PSA 10 of them. It's worth it. Gwen, these cards I've seen them much higher back in the day, and I think we've got about a 3 or 4 year more run in us where this thing's going to go up, just up, and they're going to try to put their money in all kinds of stuff. But right now, I think they're buying a lot of wax, from the big companies, and I think that's going to hurt some people because the return is just not there. It's just not, man. I mean, I like you guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Yeah, you can hit a fucking grand slam. And you can also get a Jamon Moore Contenders Optic. I love opening them. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm just saying know what you're getting into if that's what you want to do for entertainment. If you're trying to do this to make some money, I think some of those things we talked about would work. I'm going to try to do one of these every so often just to give you some of my opinion. I think you need to look at what's important to guys that grew up in the late 80s. Bo Jackson, guys that, we could buy Bo Jackson stuff for nothing a couple years ago, and you just see it inching up, and I think that you got to think like that, and I think it'll pay off. Or think like you from Beijing, because, dude, it's crazy the money that they're throwing around. If I had to pick a sport to invest in, I would tell you basketball, because high-end basketball. I think high-end basketball. But anyway, that's plenty of advice for you guys. Of course, if you're collecting or you're busting packs to have fun, that's great. This is just for people who want to invest, who want to take $10,000 and not just go, like, they want to see if they can turn it into 15 or 20. There you go. I do not know what they're worth, man. Let's go. Yeah, we're in a renaissance, baby. We're coming. Baseball cards are exploding. So, get ready, dude. The next 3 or 4 years is going to be wild. But my thinking is there's a lot of money to be made for people who pay attention. I'm a card shop. I sell cards. I don't really hold on to a whole lot other than stuff I actually collect. But at some point in time, even that stuff I'll move because I feel like the cards are just so expensive, or they've went up to where I feel like a few years down the road they're going to come back down some. All right. You need to get me on your podcast. Yeah, man, I'll be glad to for you, Matt. All right, fellas. Have a good night. I wanted to hop on real quick, give y'all a little information. Go play some cards, do what I do. Stay jet flying. Before I forget, man, if anybody's having a hard time, man, just remember, man, just be you. You don't have to be anybody else. You are the best you. Nobody else can be you. Try to keep in mind, I saw this earlier today, that when someone gives you a compliment or when someone ridicules you or puts you down, you remember it, for years and years. They say one thing. Someone gives you a compliment, you remember it for just a few moments, and then you go right back to dwelling about the insult, man. I think it's important for all of us nut draggers to kind of try to flip that a little bit, man. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Most of them are a bunch of fucking hacks. So what I would try to do is listen to the people that are complimenting you, man. People just don't go around throwing compliments around. If they're complimenting you, they mean it. All right, boys. All right, gals. Y'all stay jet flying. Always be dragging. Deuces, baby. Let's go.